Hello and welcome. This time it's not an Wikipedia video, this is an update video for this game project Encounter which I had started. So back in 1984 I had this game on the Oric. I played it a lot with moderate success because my English was not that good at the time. But I did like it, and I even started to try to add graphics to it. So I did that in BASIC using high-res line drawing, and the result was not particularly awesome. It was done by hand on saves on tape, so it took me forever, and I managed to get like 2 scenes, and well, so project stopped. And this game, you can find it on oric.org. You have it here, Encounter, with a few screenshots. And in 2018, I started this upgrade time project with the idea of basically finishing what I started in 1984. I commented what I did by a series of videos you can find on YouTube. So as you can see, there are 17 of them with optimization, graphics description, how to convert the original source code to make it easier to work with. And everything has been put on the SVN server. So, for example, you can see here, this is the original source code from Severn Software in all its 1005 lines glory, with a lot of print on logic, if this on that, then this plus, if y equal 1 or b equal 1, then bf equals 0. So quite difficult to follow, but I managed to do, still in BASIC, using a base2tap, which is one of the tools made by Fabrice Frances. I managed to get something which recompiled natively on the PC, and I added support for things like commands, which makes it much easier to work, and labels, because go to 80 or go to 1000, or yeah, it's not very practical. And I can show you what the original game looked like. Encounter Adventure, copyrighted on software, press any key when you're ready. So you get a quick description. And here at the start of the game, you are in a deserted market square. I can see nothing of interest here. Exit lead north and east. What are you going to do now? And the version I just showed you, which is basically the last version I released. So that one has an actual graphical picture, actual high score list where things are actually saved. The explanation, which is more or less the same page but with a nicer font and slightly more structured. It all fits in one page. And a small typewriter type representation. And then the game. You are in a deserted market square, exit lead north and east. So this is basically the same thing there. You can see a plastic bag on a newspaper, it's just because I was doing some development test. So north, move 1, north, move 499. So that's one of the change I did, which is the game authorizes you only to have 500 moves, but it's much more explicit when you see a countdown. Expect things to get bad when you reach 0, where 1 doesn't say anything. So yeah, the game is basically the same. Can see a large dove, west, west. So not all the graphics are in final state, but it was a decent effort. And here you can see the actual list of all the graphics. So at the start of the game, you start here. I try to make some continuity between the scene. This is a staircase that leads to there. This is the entrance to go to the basement. So yeah, it's a graphical adventure revamped. A bit more graphics, which were not on this map. Like a scene when the dog attacks you, and if you wake up one of the bandits, you get shot, which is deadly. And that's basically where I stopped the project. So why did I stop? Well, I stopped at the moment where basically I could do everything I could using all the tricks I knew from BASIC. I even had to bring in some advanced features from the disk operating system, Oric, to do things like text dispatcher, draw some high-resolution graphics, copy some memory block, but I wanted to add music, I wanted to add sound, I wanted to add some objects like this bucket. I wanted it to disappear if you take it. And in BASIC there is no graphical copy block feature, so that made it very, very difficult. Yeah, I guess I just got burnt out, not managing to find how to do it. I tried to add some assembler routines, but then I ended up having problem with BASIC. In BASIC, you have a garbage collection, which means you don't have 100% control on where things are allocated. So you need to reduce the amount of memory so you can fit your things, and then because all the memory allocation is automagic when you do string manipulation, I had some memory overwrite and things did not work very well. Not having been able to finish that has been very annoying. I like to finish things. I actually made some proper inlays for the floppy version with a screenshot and everything. Even some label for the floppies. Same thing I did for my Quantum FX Turbo Ultra, the game I made for the Club Oric competition. So I really want to finish that. I've been doing some quick tests yesterday. Try to see if I could have the game in C. So that's a lot of work. There is a lot of things. On the other hand, it's only 1,000 of lines, and most of them are things like error messages, locations, which could be put like this, like data declaration. So it's not actually that much work. The biggest problem if I switch to C is that C is a terrible language for string manipulation. In BASIC, you can extract the left part, the right part, the center, concatenate, and it all works magically. In C, you have to pre-allocate buffer or use realloc, and using dynamic allocation on a 6502 base machine is not awesome. You end up with having memory fragmentation. So that's going to be the difficult part. On the other hand, we'll have 100% full control on the memory layout. And that also means that if I'm not using the ROM function anymore, then I can exploit the fact that I can have 16 more kilobytes, which will allow me to load the pictures, eventually decompress pictures, and do transitions like fade, fade out, pixel change, put animation when changing location. Sound effect on music would be much easier. So basically, the original constraint was add graphics to encounter, stay in BASIC, which technically is the case. You can get the version from part 17 on the SVN depot. I guess I can even probably put an executable somewhere. And we are going to call it the final BASIC version. And then I'm going to reboot the upgrade by making the game with new constraints, which are make it as good as possible, no matter what. No more basic, switch to C on assembler if necessary, use floppy builder to maximize the disk space, because that's also another problem. If it's a Cedric-based game, you need Cedric. And all you need really is to be able to boot. And the space taken by the operating system, directory, and things like that could easily be used to store the music or half a dozen of new pictures. And I like this Encounter HD, that's the actual name, to be able to fit between Twilight, Shema, Team Raxis, CEO games without being shamed of. What I've done is good for basic, but it's not as good as it could be on the Oric. And I don't want the Oric machine or my skills to be judged on the fact that it's a basic program. So lifting all these constraints will make it much easier for me to do things and much more enjoyable. I've been as far as I can with basic, so goodbye basic. I'm not going to give myself any deadline with COVID-19 on things, on travel bans. I'm probably going to spend my summer in Oslo anyway, so that could be a good time to work on that interesting project, but no deadline, no pressure. I may or may not do regular video updates. These things, if you look at this blog post, where I explained everything, including the tools, took way too long to do. So even that one is going to take some time, because I will have to cut between the webcam and the normal thing. So maybe there will be some video, but then that will only be if I reach a significant milestone, which is worth talking about. Else, I'm going to do some Twitter updates, and that's about it, I guess.